KPIs and DAX. They're simple, aren't they, yeah? We went through it last week. What could possibly go wrong? Didn't understand, yeah? Alright lads and lasses, welcome along. Weekend work. So this week, these are going to be the last weekend works for a while. We're going to get back to doing something for the weekend. If you remember, those were like data set builds. So what I might do is pull back some of the other data sets we've used in the past and go through and do deep dives into building them, building report content from them from scratch. We're also going to try and find some new content to do. So yeah, it'll be well worth it. Like and subscribe down below. Head on over to geordieintelligence.co.uk and become a member and get involved. So for now, what are we going to be doing? We looked last week at KPIs and really how they start to interact and how you can use Tabular Editor to put them in place and actually make some great stuff and great content from it. Okay. One of the things I wanted to do though was kind of just give you some, need to be careful at times, things with it. So when we come now into Power BI Desktop and I'll show you what I've been up. Alright, so I built this report. It's a simple one, it's a nice basic one, but it does show something and I'm keen for you to see it. So one of the things I was looking to do is how do we start to populate our KPIs and actually use them in our reports properly. One of the key areas is around things like your year to date, your month to date, those kind of things. Now here I've got two measures written. Okay, I've got a total sales measure and I've got a year to date. So obviously year to date is taken from the 1st of January till whatever point and determining what the values are. And it goes up to the end of last month. Okay. And as we bring down the numbers, you'll see they correlate. That makes sense. Yeah. So I can go in and I can start to say, well, I just want to see up till the end of February, for example. And I can go up and say, right, show us that. Right. 49 million. Brilliant. My sales targets, fantastic, great, I can do that, that makes sense. But then what happens if we say, well, let's look at this from the 1st of February. Hang on, that's not right. And then I was thinking, well, is it my measure, is it what I've been using? Right? And there's a couple of ways of doing your total year to date. And I've done it using total year to date. So if I click on here and we zoom in, you can see it's just the total sales measure by the calendar. And yet it's going against the whole period up to the end, the maximum calendar date that it's got. So there are some gotchas here to be aware of, that as you're building your measures and as you're starting to write your calculations, some things can go wrong or can go awry with it. And this is one of the areas that we talk about, that you need to really know what it is that you're doing and what your measures are doing and be able to validate the data that's returning. Because put this in the wrong data or put the wrong information in front of your senior management and, you know, it's a world of hurt that you're opening up. Okay, this is just one example. Right? The main thing I was wanting to do with this was actually show and have a talk about the issues that we have with control charts. So here we've built our little control chart, and in the past I've shown you how it's built. And simply put, what we've got is we've got a daily sales measure, right? This is going to come back and give me my daily sales across whatever its sectors is I'm looking at. So here I've got 5 different categories that are also available. Daily sales is telling me how much we're actually earning or selling as our gross. We'd then go through and do all sorts of other calculations with it if this was a real data set. This is just a random one I've built. Now, in here, we can do an average. So we've got an average sales measure. And what I've done is I've done an average X based on the selected dates. Again, because we might want to be doing a date selection like we are with the slicer. That makes perfect sense. That's all makes sense to me. I can understand that. I can get behind all that and I can be happy. Once you've got your average, though, the next thing you need is to do a standard deviation. Okay, and in here, I've done it from a sample, but we can change that to be a P. So across the population. Okay. Oh, let's add it back. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So your standard deviation is going to tell you, on an average day, where's the window that we expect it to be within. And then from that standard deviation, so the standard deviation from the mean, we can take that value and take it away from the mean or add it to the mean, and that then gives us our lower, which is our average sales minus standard deviation, so this line here, and our upper, which is our standard deviation added to our average sales. So this is the basis of a control chart. And there's two real ways you can do it, and the problem that we have in Power BI and the way it is with the default visuals is that you can't really see what's happening, or you can't have it highlight it very efficiently. So I've done this here, where rather than just doing it where it's just a simple line across, we've moved it this way and put it in as a stacked column chart. And you're then using different measures to produce the different size bars. And you can see we've actually got 4 bars for all, well, I can only see 3 different types. There's 4. Okay. And you can put all this together quite easily. So we've got our lower partial here, so where it is lower. And what I've done is I've broken these down so that you can easily reuse them for your own measures or charts. And what I've done with this is by doing it this way, I'll put these in the members area in Geordie Intelligence, and you'll be able to download them and then you can replicate using them. And I've toyed around with it. I thought, well, you can kind of do it in I've not got the point where I was comfortable or happy with really how it works in a calculation group format. So I thought we can do this reasonably easily this way. And it is. Once we've got this, it's copy and paste, 4 measures to copy and paste in, and then you just put your core bit of information in there, in your uppers and lowers in, depending on where it is. And you've got your partial low, which is here. We've got our full low, this one, so where the number is greater than the lower line. Okay. So we know it's always going to be up to the middle, up to the lower line, which is why it's saying low. We've got the middle piece. So this piece which goes between the middle. So it's in our normal band would be where that would be. Middle, normal band, good values kind of thing. And again, you can see the logic is there. It goes through and we work out what we need to do to present this is the value it's going to return. If it goes all the way up beyond there, then it will get hit with the greater than the upper measure. Okay, and by putting all these together, you can then use different colours. And in here, you can see if we have a look at the colours, the data colours, for the lower full and for the middle, I've just gone with this light grey, just so it fades it back. We don't want it to show, you know, these are normal days. Nothing to be done here, nothing to worry about, nothing to see here. Normal days. Poor sales days would be red, and we'd say, well, we want to investigate what's happened there. And the good sales days come through and it goes to the top where it becomes then yellow. Okay, and again, this is just one way of doing it. What I like with this though is the way that it's dynamic. So as I change the date slices, it will automatically change and it'll say, these are the areas that are actually of now of concern. So for you, as you're analysing your data with your management team, you can really dial in and see areas of concern, and then within that area, what are the other areas within there that we need to now get to that next level. And it allows that function and that view of things. So what do you reckon then? What you can see is that KPIs, there are some gotchas, and you do need to be really aware of what your measures are actually going to be doing. Generally, measures are well behaved. and DAX is something that's pretty simple and easy. Once you start to get into the habit of building your measures correctly, you'll find it all just takes care of itself. There's nothing to worry about. But every now and again, you'll stumble onto things. So the key message and what you need to be taken away from today is validation is everything. You need to make sure you can validate your measures. Even better if you can expect, or if you know what the values are ahead of time. I know I'm going to get this, and I'm going to get that, and have some key points and test with different variations what you're going to get. So don't be afraid, and it's one of those areas, Excel is still very useful for doing this, because you can still get your raw data back out into Excel. You can connect Excel again back into your Power BI desktop, and you can then have it running against that full set of data and see what comes back. And then if you're getting variations that aren't right, that's where you need to be stepping in and fixing it. Okay. So we've touched on what's coming up in the future. I hope you're sticking with us for our Tuppence Tuesdays as well, because there's some nice stuff on there on establishing and building a data culture. For now though, have a great weekend. Stay safe. Ta-da.